Welcome. I'm Denise Burns with the Catoosa County Republican Party's Candidate Interview Committee. I'll take a minute for the other members to introduce themselves.
Hello, I'm Michael Powell.
And I'm Joanna Hildreth. Thank you for taking the time out of your campaign to participate in this interview process. We have extended this invitation to all candidates in this race for the purpose of aiding the voters in making their decisions. This video will appear on the Catoosa County Republican Party website. While we do everything we can to prevent anyone from obtaining the video without proper request or use, we cannot guarantee that the video will not be obtained by others regardless of our best efforts to secure it. The interview will be shown in its entirety. For the interview, we will be asking around 9 questions but can offer no prompting. There is no right or wrong answers, only your answers. We ask each candidate the same questions. Please introduce yourself and state the position you're running for.
My name is Jama House, and I am running for Catoosa Tax Commissioner.
Thank you. We'll go ahead and get started with the questions. Why are you running as a Republican, and what does being a Republican mean to you?
Okay. I am running as a Republican. As a Republican in Catoosa County, I feel like I share the conservative Christian values that are shared by many Republicans in this area. I'm running as a Republican because I also feel like I support small businesses, and small business is the strength of our community. But I also feel that our government has grown tremendously in the past few years, and we need the strength of an educated person in this area because our government is no longer a small business, it's really a larger business.
How would you describe the role of tax commissioner in county government?
Tax commissioner in county government in the state of Georgia. It's different from some other states, different than Tennessee, but the tax commissioner here is a tax collector, and they mainly do billing and collecting of property and vehicle taxes and various other taxes. So it's a lot of administrative. They don't set your property value tax rates. They cannot change the rates, and they do not assess the value of your property. So as defined in Georgia, tax commissioner is just really billing and collecting.
How would you describe the impact of the tax commissioner on the average citizen?
The tax commissioner's job can be very important to the average citizen, especially if you own property in Catoosa County. You need a tax commissioner who's extremely accurate. This person is sending you an annual bill of your property tax, and if there's just a minor miscalculation, as you know, that could affect your taxes, the timing of the billing. If the bills don't go out on the right date, for instance, you have to have 90 days from the time you get your bill. If someone is not able to prepare your tax bill on time, then the whole county could be late, and that could affect the county budget because the funds are coming in at a later time, which in turn on the next year could affect your tax rate.
Do you believe education and experience play a role in being Catoosa County Tax Commissioner? Why or why not?
Personally, I do believe that education plays a role. As I talked about earlier, our county is growing, and really county government in Catoosa is not a small business anymore. It's a very large business. We have millions of dollars in our budget, and this position is handling cash, is handling your cash. And for me personally, I want someone I can trust, someone who's ethical, but someone who's also educated and experienced in handling business situations and controls that affect cash collections. We want someone who knows what controls need to be in place so that there's no misstatements or misappropriation of funds. So it's your money, it's your tax dollars that we're collecting, and you have to decide, do you want someone who's educated that's accounting for and collecting your money?
If you are elected, do you plan on making any changes in your new role as tax commissioner? If so, please be specific about those changes.
If I'm elected, I will not make any immediate changes as of right now, but the projections for our county are we have tremendous growth, long-term growth, and I do foresee possibly some system changes as our county grows and we're collecting more funds and we become more elaborate. I don't know for sure, but I could possibly see some computer system upgrades and things like that as our county grows. It's something you would collaborate with our county commissioners and our state government. And of course, every year, there's a possibility of tax changes. Tax law change it every year at the state level. So, by the end of March, the state government could implement a new tax rate, and then everything in the department would change. So then you would have to upgrade your computer systems. So there's always change going on.
How does being a Republican shape your vision as tax commissioner?
I think being a Republican and being tax commissioner, they go hand in hand because you're helping small businesses, you're helping individuals, you're accounting for funds. I think the conservative Christian value is an important value. I think being ethical, and also think the education is very important.
As a potential Republican official in our community, how would you help the Catoosa County Republican Party grow and spread its influence?
As a potential Republican, as far as how I could help the community, I think just by serving as your tax commissioner and making sure all the county funds are accounted for, and that the accuracy is there, and there's no misstatements in your tax bills. This position is limited. As I said earlier, they don't set your tax rates, they don't assess your values. So there's really no effect over the bill, but the accuracy and maintaining the funds for the tax commissioner is the most important thing.
What makes you the best candidate in the Republican field?
Okay. I do feel I am very qualified. I have an education. I have a degree from Carson Newman. I have an accounting degree. I feel I am equipped. I have worked many years in the accounting field. I've worked at Ernst & Young in the past as a CPA and auditor. I've worked at Erlanger Medical Center as a budget and cost accountant. I've worked at Synthetic Industries. That was my first job in Georgia, and I worked there as a financial analyst, and I currently work for Tranco Logistics. It's a trucking and warehousing company. I do their accounting. I've worked as a controller there. And so I've had this experience seeing, while it's not in Catoosa County Tax Commissioner's office, I've seen all these different systems of all these different companies, and I want to share that, my experience. I think I could bring some level of confidence to this, and knowing how systems work and implementing new systems. I'm also ethical. I've worked in my church. I go to Peavine Baptist Church, and I've served on their finance committee. And I've also served for J103, the advisory board. And I currently serve with Upward Life Ministries, which is a new nonprofit here in Catoosa County. And I feel like these things show that I can work with big businesses, but I can also work with individuals, and I do care about the county.
Last question. Who is your favorite Republican from the past or the present?
Well, of course, my favorite Republican is Ronald Reagan. That's an easy choice. So Ronald Reagan was, the first time I got to vote for president, it was for Ronald Reagan. So that's just a memory I always treasure. When I was 18, and I remember I was away at school, and I got home, and the polls were getting ready to close, and you had a long hallway, and I was actually running down the hallway. They were like, hurry, run. So I was the last person to vote in our county, but I got to vote for Ronald. And I do, respect the job that he did as well.
Thank you. This concludes the interview. Thank you very much for taking the time to participate in the interview process.
Thank you, and I appreciate your support.